What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Now, I have a certain blog post up, alright, because this upcoming week is the new roadmap reveal. Now, a lot of the community are speculating that we are going to be seeing Spider-Man on the roadmap, my favourite superhero of all time. So, of course, I thought, let's reminisce. You know what I mean? Let's reminisce with the greatest blog in the history of blogs. So, okay, so what we're going to do is this come out in August 3rd, 2020. My fucking god. And we're going to read through it. I'm going to tell you what I think that means now in the context of the game as we know it. And we're just going to go down memory lane. So I'm pretty excited to look through this right here. So, Earth's Mightiest Heroes get a helping hand from a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in 2021. I want people to know, by the way, that when I saw this, I lost my fucking mind. I know it was PlayStation exclusive. That is bad, right? I get it. But for me, personally, just outside of that, I lost my shit that I was going to be able to play as Spider-Man in this game. Like, that was amazing for me. Every once in a while, life presents you with a moment where your pursuits and your passions converge. Today is one such moment for me, because I get to be the first to announce that our own Crystal Dynamics take on Spider-Man is teaming up with Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Black Widow of Marvel's Avengers. Now, this was back when, obviously, they didn't want people to know that Captain America was alive, which is just... it was nonsense, let's be honest. But, you know, it was, you know, they stuck to it. It's a fair play to them. And also, just judging by Crystal Dynamics' take, we know that this isn't going to be like Insomniac's version and stuff like that. That has been sort of shown off, mentioned a couple of times. As you can see, we've got some comics here of Spider-Man teaming up with the Avengers, which is always lovely to see. This is so personal for me because I cannot remember a time when I didn't love Marvel and its colourful characters, even more real and believable than the next. But despite my enjoyment of Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow and the other Avengers, there was always one character I saw myself reflected in, and that was Peter Parker, the sensational Spider-Man. Now I'm getting to channel my lifelong enjoyment of the character into a version of the interactive hero that I hope inspires the next generation of creators, and well, it's my dream come true. Which is always lovely to hear. Look, at the end of the day, I know it's exclusive, but I'm trying to look past that just for this video alone, and just to get, you know, excited for myself and everyone else who gets a chance to play him. But I do genuinely, you know, it does suck that not everyone's going to get to play as him, unless that changes. You know, hopefully it does. His allying with our Marvel's Avengers heroes is in perfect symmetry with my exposure to the character. When I was young, I accumulated a massive collection of Spider-Man books that told both dramatic and humorous stories of this colourful crime fighter who was a fixture of Marvel's New York, and that used his powers in ingenuity, fuck you, to protect his neighborhood. But one day I read an issue that pushed him out of his natural settings and into the larger world with hilarious results. The story was titled The Commuter Cometh, and it was a fantastic yarn about Spider-Man hunting down a robber in the suburbs, taking Spidey out, and Marvel's New York forces him to try some new tricks. It's always interesting for me because obviously we know that he's probably going to feel most at home in the Eastern Seaboard biome, but I do kind of find it quite interesting that, like, you know, we're going to be seeing him in places like the Wasteland and stuff like that, places that really don't fit the status quo with Spider-Man, you know. Watching Spider-Man adapt to new surroundings was such a great contrast to his status quo. That tone is exactly what we want to capture for him in Marvel's Avengers, a familiar but fresh Spider-Man who needs to evolve to take on global threats alongside Earth's mightiest heroes. A sensational superhero. To make sure this team up goes smoothly, Vince Napoli, our lead combat designer, yes, is hard at work making Spider-Man just as great on the sticks as he is on the page. That's Crystal Dynamics using young tones, like young words again, like ding for leveling up and stuff. Good for them. They stuck by that. This means making sure our hero moves and fights like he should, no matter which one of our war zones he finds himself in. When he's arching, I feel like that should have an S in there. Through the air on his web line, we want you to feel graceful and light and be able to utilize a variety of web configurations and gadgets to enhance your traversal. Spider-Man's impressive acrobatic abilities will complement the experience, allowing you to seamlessly transition from navigation to combat, which is how it should be, you know, to be completely honest. When Spider-Man takes on evildoers, he'll do so fluidly with his signature flair, but also with the enhanced customization options we've created for Marvel's Avengers. Just like our other heroes, you'll get to use the unique skill trees Vince and his team have designed to specialize how your Spider-Man plays in our world. An impressive suite of iconic abilities and attacks will be at your disposal, and you get to decide which gadgets and skills you wish to upgrade. Now, I did a video quite a few months back where I said that I don't believe Spider-Man should have gadgets. I think he should be a normal punchy, kicky Spider-Man with his webs, and obviously, you know, utilize them a lot more. Now, I'd still stand by that. I think the only thing that I would probably say differently is that, like, for example, his support. Like, I'm cool with that being a spider drone. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like, I understand that, like, it has to make sense. I just don't want it to be like Insomniac's version, because this is supposed to be different. You know what I mean? A sensational take on Spider-Man. Despite all the great solo adventures Spider-Man's been on, standing shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Miss Marvel is going to add a whole new dimension. Players are going to face the world's most dangerous threats together, using Spider-Man's innate powers, boosted with a little help from his new friends. Partnering with the Avengers gives Spider-Man complete access to the impressive technology available to the team, such as custom web shooter-based technology from Hank Pym, S.H.I.E.L.D., Stark Industries, and more. So, I've always thought that when you know how you've got the 4 gear tier, like the 4 gears pieces, and like with Iron Man, it's like one's is like, you know, his chest, his arc reactor, you know, his unibeam thing, not unibeam, sorry, his repulsors and that. You know, I figured with Spider-Man, it'll probably be web shooters, lenses, chest, back. You know, his web logos and that. I think that would be pretty cool. Wait, no, hang on, I've read that. And by constructing the perfect gear and skills and combinations, you'll get the chance to live your superhero dreams through your ideal Spider-Man. Oh, look, Spider-Man fighting a big robot. I'm looking forward to that. A sensational sense of style. It's not enough for Spider-Man to just play like he should. He also needs to look like he should. That's why when going through the process of conceptualizing his suit, we went back to the beginning. Steve Ditko set the standard with his Spider-Man design, and John Romita Sr. evolved it into an iconic recognized the world over. Fans can expect to see Ditko and Romita's influence in our take on the hero, with nods to other talented artists that have defined the character's look over his long history. So judging by that, I like to imagine that they won't touch the basic design of Spider-Man. I kind of want him to just have the OG suit as his iconic, with maybe web pits. I mean, both of these examples have web pits, so that could be a look. A sensational celebration. When Spider-Man comes to our stable of heroes, we'll be marking his debut with an in-game event. Alright, so here we go. So as we know through that, an in-game event now is a bunch of mission chains and stuff like that. We'll introduce him to the wider world of Marvel's Avengers. The event is comprised of a series of unique challenges for the hero to take on, testing his abilities and yielding some exciting results. So I imagine the idea is you take Spider-Man into these mission chains, you blast them out, and you get some cool rewards for it. Maybe some skins, you know, considering this is a very Spider-Man heavy event by the sound of it. And like the rest of our heroes in Marvel's Avengers, we will offer multiple cosmetic outfits and gameplay experience options so you can make your vision of the wall crawler a reality. It's never been a better time to be a Spider fan. The team at Crystal Dynamics, along with our partners, are overjoyed that we get to be a part of this hero's gaming journey. We can't wait for you to add Spider-Man to your Marvel's Avengers roster in early 2021. And as we've promised before, he'll be available at no additional cost to the owners of the base game. And la-di-da-di-da. So there we go. So that is the blog, the ultimate blog. Now, as we can read by that, unless plans have changed, Spider-Man will be introduced via an event. It won't be a story, it won't be bosses, it won't be anything like that. It'll be jumped in. An event will he'll have some mission chains to complete, probably with like the smallest little bit of story, and then that is it. And then he will be added into the world, and maybe he'll have some intelligence files. That'd be pretty cool. He'll probably have his own comics and stuff like that to collect. You know, and obviously he'll have his own like elevator dialogue and stuff like that. But I do think that he will have less than the other heroes just because it makes a lot of sense. But I am so excited to see the first look at Spider-Man. And I'm just like, he's honestly just... It makes me happy, you know what I mean? If you guys see me on Twitter, you'll know that I'm like, fucking summon all the time, right? So, make sure to let me know if you're excited for Spider-Man coming into Marvel's Avengers. Let me know if you expect him to see him on Wednesday at the Roadmap or Thursday at the PlayStation Experience. And I will see you all later. Peace.